start with 12 and 6 of them fall off.
Good morning, Gate City Rotary. It's a beautiful day to be alive and be here, isn't it?
It is.
Let's see, Judy, I think you got her invocation this morning.
Almighty God, which are tearing into of each accepted responsibility far beyond our ability to completely fulfill. We ask for your blessings upon our club and its activities. Help us to select and engage ourselves in activities that meet the four-way test. And may our conduct be exemplary when dealing with one another and those around us. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The things that
They say and do is the truth, is fair to all concerned, will it build goodwill and better friendships, will it be beneficial to all concerned.
Great. Chris.
Yes, I'd like to introduce Chanel Keaton. She is the director of the Community Care Clinic for Moses Coda. So welcome,
Welcome, Chanel. Rick Martin. Yes, sir. All right.
Yeah.
Birthdays and anniversaries. All right. Good morning, Gate City.
Good morning.
We got a couple of birthdays, anniversaries going on today, and we'll get started with birthdays. And what is today? The 3rd of October. We've got a birthday boy among us, so we're going to start right there. Let's see, Mr. Frank Cheney, is he in the house? Oh my, happy to be here. So if it's on the day of the birthday, we always sing happy birthday. So you guys join in and sing happy birthday with me to Frank. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Frank. Happy birthday to you. All right. By the way, I told Frank I wouldn't put him on the spot and ask him how old he was, and he was saying something about 40-something. I thought, you know, this is not going to pass the four-way test. We're stopping right here. So we're moving on to that. Okay. Last week, Miss Christy Mulholland had a birthday. Christy, I know you're here somewhere. Where? Oh, there she is. Yeah. Last week had a birthday. And happy birthday to you. We're doing 2 weeks this week. We missed last week. Waiting in, John Nossick's gone. He and his wife celebrated 37 this week. And we've got a couple of club anniversaries. Mike Slane. Mike? There he is, right in front of me. I'm sorry, Mike. Yeah, how many years, my man? Wow, you hit it right on the head. Very good. And, yeah, hey, too. And let's see, Miss Auburn Perkins. This will probably be hard to compute. How many years? Big one. All right. First one with us. Thank you. Good to see you. And that's it, Mr. President.
Great. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Operation Rebuilds this weekend. Who has signed up for Friday? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are going to sign up for tomorrow? You're going to go home right after you leave here or go sign up? How about Saturday? Okay, great. You guys may want to think that over a little bit. Somebody give it a thought. We've got a roof to put on. Check with Billy. Last I heard, I think we had 9 signed up, but and that would probably be an okay number. Feel free to bring family members, bring people, but we can check on that. Billy is not here. Shoot him an email if you. Yep. Yep. You having a seizure back there, Judge? Okay. This weekend we had the first practice cook for the world's greatest meal. It's at Chip's house, Chip, would you like to talk about that for a minute? And
We had
also
a
the,
great turnout. We had about 30 people. The barbecue was fantastic. Lisa Dames and one of her musician friends came over and played a little historical country music. Their new duet or duet, whatever you want to call it, called High Cotton, but they came out, so we had live music. We had one small mishap. Rick Martin's dog Scout used to be a 2 flop-eared dog, and he and Otto got a little too close to a piece of brisket, and something happened, and now he's a 1 flop-eared dog. But,
And I just want to say on that, Otto, twice the size of my little guy, nonetheless, it was good fighting. And you might want to know that Otto, his dog, was awarded the Mike Tyson Trophy at the end of the fight. We had that done too.
Exactly.
Y'all missed out, you weren't there.
I couldn't decide whether to turn these in for prizes for the football pool or not, but I have an out-of-the-garden visor, 2 pair of tongs, a pie server, and a salt shaker. And Jimmy Buffett was not there, so this might be it. I don't know. And cooler. All right, so anyway, we had a great turnout. The food was fantastic. We're going to do a sure enough, full-blown, everything all on the grill. We had 8, 9 grills going out there. We had all kinds of entrees and stuff going. I want to thank Steve. I want to thank Christy. I want to thank Mark Luttrell. Who else is in here? Rick, certainly Rick. Rick, man, I'll tell you, he was a trooper. He was there at 9 o'clock at night Saturday night. He was there at 5 o'clock Sunday morning. I was not visible in between those 2 times, so I can't tell you what he was doing then, but everybody was still there at 6 o'clock Sunday night. So it was great. Next full-blown cook is October the 20th. Dan was there too. Fundraiser for the world's greatest meal, Zen Polio. So anyway, and by the way, that campaign is within about $500,000 of its $10.5 million goal. And so whatever little bit we might contribute is going to go a long way to finishing that thing out. It is a matching grant, as I understand it. So
When is that?
October the 20th. And you can come anytime from 9 o'clock Saturday night until 6 o'clock Sunday afternoon. But anyway, we'll have, it's going to be a fun time. Y'all please come out.
Yep. When I got there Sunday evening, I found out about the little incident. I know that Rotary was trying to expand the horizon, but I didn't know that dogfighting was. we were going out there. Let's see. Got a real quick Rotary trivia. Stupid question. And you have to answer this one exactly to get the wonderful prize. Crash checks. Everybody knows Rotary's motto, right? Service above self. What is Rotary's secondary motto?
He serves, others serve best.
It's very close.
It's something.
You're on the right track.
Serves best.
Give it to call him Mr. Rotary. I bet he knows.
I don't know.
He was close. He was close.
Come on, give it to him.
Okay, it's it's one profits most who serves best. There you go.
Yeah, baby.
Mayor Jackson now. Let's see, other announcements from the floor. Yes, Mark.
Just real quick for membership, we have our next Discover Rotary event with Crescent and E-Club on, it's at our event, it's at 8 o'clock right after our meeting for just a few minutes on the 17th, is that correct?
October 17th.
October 17th. So put that in your calendar, bring a guest, bring somebody who wants to spend 5 or 10 minutes getting to know something about Rotary, it'd be appreciated. And then Frank and Claudia have been for a couple months offering up to an event at their home. And so the dates have been narrowed to October 22nd, 23rd, or 24th. And I'm working with a couple of the ladies in the club. That is going to be a ladies-only event for the ladies of the club and to bring lady guests to potential members. Frank's going to facilitate. He'll be the only man in the room. But he's got the
Good setup.
odds are good. Not sure about the date yet, but I want to kind of get the thoughts because we want to bring potential members.
Great. Okay. Yep, Kelly's got an announcement.
Yeah. So I think on everybody's table, you have a sheet here that's about the Greensboro One Walk. I know you've heard about that. Saturday, November 2nd is a big Rotary Day. It will begin with the One Walk, which is all of the Rotary clubs coming together to walk for JDRF. As you all know, our past district governor, Mitzi Ellis, is the executive director. Our own Mike Conrad, former was executive director of JDRF. Myself, Lane Schiffman, and Jay Harris, all former presidents of Rotary, are the chairs this year, and so we are all walking in this regard. It has grown to be one of the largest and most successful walks in JDRF's history. We're really excited about. Thank you to all of you so many of you who have joined and donated and have agreed to walk on that day. It'll be a big day. Rumor has it that on that November 2nd day, it may be the day that the Rotary Carousel opens. So we're hoping that all comes together and happens. I know they're very close, and we're hoping that happens. Then with all those calories burned, we will transition down to pig stock, and I'll turn it over to Dan to fill in the details there.
Right. Tommy Richardson, Tommy's not here. Tommy's our parking czar. He went out Monday night and got all that stuff set up, so we've got pastures ready to open this year for parking. There's a rain parking plan and a no rain parking plan, so the issues we've had there, I think will be resolved. I think we have 15 teams committed to cook this year, 2 or 3 more on the horizon, so we'll see. We'll surely have more teams than we've ever had cooking. There's plenty of room for sponsorships. As you guys know, we compete, and we did not win last year. The first time in 6 years we didn't win the fundraising. We have some serious competition this year. My stinking sister has gone out and gotten a job and told them to donate all the money to airport's pig stock fund. so we have, yeah, I got her a job, just a little, and she said, no, I don't want to check. So anyway, please consider sponsoring. We're getting some competition for our award this year.
But I thought Chris Justice was a judge.
That's a different thing.
Oh, okay.
Frank's a judge too. I got the judging fixed.
Judging is in the pocket. We're not worried about. Football pool.
I thought we would try to raise the respectability of the football pool.
Why start now?
It's hard. It's hard. So instead of announcing from the back of the room, I thought I would come up here.
Wow.
That's point one, and I'll tell you point two in a second. I'll make it official by getting behind here. This was a really great meet. This microphone probably isn't right here. Is this on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right, so as far as the people who tried to race to the bottom, Kim Dane was the winner/loser with 9 right, but she's not here. Gigi Renault also was in competition with 10. But the person who really does, I think, truly try to do as poorly as he can, and therefore he does well, is Danny Farley. He finished with 10 as well, and so he wins the loser prize. And I'll bring this back to the back there in a second, Danny. But on the front end, we had some really serious competition for the best score. Mike Conrad and James Peter both had 16. But the person who just blew everybody else away with 18. I'm just do it by music here. Anyone guess who the winner is this way? Let me see if I can get it here.
We'll go for Walt.
Donald Trump. Gotta be Walt. Think again. He's not allowed to play the pool. Walt with 18. He gets a really nice hot gold mug from Howard Driggers from his company Comfort. The second way that we are raising the respectability of the football pool is Dennis Marcotte is going to take over. We really needed to mix things up and step it up and add a little class. So Dennis is going to take over for the next couple of months or so, or next, I think 2 months. So I'm sure he'll have plenty of good gifts, plenty of good teams. He's got some really good choices on there this week. Thanks.
I wish you hadn't said that. So, I was preparing this yesterday, and I don't know if you've looked at it yet. So I'm I prepared it at the office, made the copies, went home, changed my clothes, went to the barber shop, 3:30 haircut. I'm talking to my barber, who's a big NC State fan. And I said, "What?" So we started talking about their quarterback situation, and then he mentions that they have a bye week. And on my list, I get NC State playing. And I went, oh no, right? So I run home, and I said, I have to go back to the office and redo this. And then I realized I just had to cross off the word state.
You didn't put a U.
NC.
You didn't put a U.
That's okay. I think there's a reason I didn't do that, but I'm not sure about stuff. Then I always like to go, I was looking for Guilford College to see who they were playing. And so I had to go down and deep in the bowels of the scheduling for these Division I, Division II teams. And I came across one no one's probably going to recognize on the sheet. And that's Bentley and Assumption. I went to Bentley College. Yeah. So, yay. And when I went, they had flag football. So we're coming up in the road. I was so excited, I got to put that on the list. So, and Mike Swain said he would play today. He says, I don't know anything about football, and by putting Bentley in Assumption, no one does either. Like,
A level playing field.
One quick question for you guys before we start Happy Dollars. Is anybody else not getting all the emails from the club? Or, Chris?
I only get yours. That's it.
Okay. You don't get one from Guy
Every Monday?
every Monday?
No.
Did you? You didn't?
I didn't get one.
I don't think I got one this week.
I'm thinking.
Maybe it's
I don't know if there's something wrong with
You got one?
I don't think I got that.
Yeah, don't take it personally.
So I use Pmail, the Rotary, our DAC-DB mail generator.
Yeah, please check your email address on DAC-DB and make sure it's correct. Okay, make sure they have the correct information in case you've gotten a new email address or anything like that, or doing the Hillary thing where you've got your own little server. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, Buster, Happy Dollars.
And if you got your own server, Trump will find your email for you. They're in Ukraine. Steve.
I just got to thank Chip Wilson. I think I've taken part in the festivities 3 years. There he is. Okay. 3 years in a row, and I admire you so much. You're up at the crack of dawn, and you put up with all of us until evening time, and you and Carrie both. I really want to thank you both. You really put on a great show, and you're so gracious about it. You know, that's a lot of hard work. Thank you.
It is. Amen.
Our son's lived in Asheville the last couple of years, worked, he's actually finally finishing his college degree. Anyhow, our daughter's up there finishing her last internship for her Doctor of Physical Therapy. Our son happened to have an extra bedroom and they're living together, so it was their idea. Let's see if they kill each other.
Then you and Jill can come live with them.
Just a quick cautionary tale. I'm having surgery this afternoon for a ruptured tendon of my right bicep. And as I read articles about what happened, that most often happens when you're pulling something heavy and you have your palm facing up. So, word of warning, if you're pulling something heavy, turn your hand over. Next time you see me, I'll be.
Well, I want to compliment the football team, Mike Allen, upgrading. You know, I've been getting milk duds and things like that. 0 bars, and never got too many dentists around. We can't be doing that. So Mike, giving it up. You are the biggest loser, like I have been twice. Quality product. Somebody got some carpet, baby.
But anyway, his sister was diagnosed with leukemia ago, and she was in the hospital this past weekend, and her daughter was getting married, so she was watching it on her iPhone, and then she passed away that night. So, anyway, I just want to let you know.
Well, anybody know James' sister's name?
Well, I have a $5 bill and I think Otto got this dollar, but $5 is for the Hunka Hunka Burning Rub team. I showed up just in time to eat. The food was awesome. Y'all did a great job, and I think we have a great chance of winning it. And then this dollar is for all the folks, the 7 or 8 people that showed up Tuesday night at Joy Monitors for our first fundraising committee kickoff meeting. Thank you for coming and all the support. We'll have a good time.
No, you gave it.
You can have that one.
Jim. All right, so 2 things. I want to thank everybody who came out and helped. I want to thank everybody who came out and tasted. We honestly got some good opinions. Probably make a few changes of what we could. I just appreciate it. And Carrie did not have to clean up everything. Kim Dane's not here, but she took over the kitchen. And she had a lot of help. A lot of friends helped out, particularly Walt's wife and a few others. And it was just all great. Thank you. And my daughter, a little old 89-pound Julie, gave birth last Saturday evening, and I was cooking barbecue on Sunday instead of down in Charlotte. But you know, 30 people coming to your house, you can't just pick up and roll. James Edward Almond, 6 pounds 9 ounces, 19 inches long, and mother and baby are doing fantastic. And he's a great little baby. Went down, spent Tuesday down there. Go see him. So anyway.
I got one also for the cook-off tonight. And buddy, Mark, you got to share your recipe.
Oh yeah.
Oh my! You
That's
just
gonna
tell
cost
everybody
some money.
real quick what it is.
Well, okay, so we just have to make sure everybody understands that this is probably not good for you. These are called sausage slammers. It's basically a quarter of a cube of piece of sausage stuffed with a jalapeno pepper and cheese, wrapped in bacon, smoked, grilled, and pretty darn good.
It's just a little bite of goodness.
I was thinking about putting the lip in
All right, this is Happy Dollars to find out. You know, our great past president, Kelly Harrell, is always doing so much for this community and for all of us. But he did the good thing within the last 2 weeks to finally be able to do something for himself and his bride. And I want to hear about that wonderful trip up to Blue Danube.
I'd recommend it. Yeah, you know, it's just it's a different world over there. It's one I had not thought I would see, and when you step behind what was the former Iron Curtain, it's a different world over there. But they have embraced tourism now, and I think it'll be the next big place you hear people going. It blew our minds on every level. It's hard to explain.
And where were your big ports of call?
So we flew into Budapest and then went north and kind of west up through Hungary, up into Austria, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Germany, and then up to Prague. Prague is, I just didn't know what it was. I really didn't have a perception of Prague, and it was every step we took was, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I would encourage anybody to see it.
Well, I just want to, I forgot to tell Walt, I just wanted to remind everybody that the club grants are available for people to apply for. If you did not get an email from me with the grant form, just let me know. You're due by October 28th. We have $10,000 to give away, and one per customer, please. So you have to be involved in the organization. So, Grandpappy Lewis, he was standing on the street and he saw this blind guy standing on the corner with a C&I dog, and he noticed that the dog was peeing on the guy's leg. And then he noticed that the guy was trying to give the dog a Fig Newton. And so he thought it'd be helpful, and he went over and he said, do you realize your dog's peeing on your leg? And the guy said, yes, I realize it. And he said, well, why are you trying to give it that cookie? And he said, when I find his head, I'm going to kick his butt.
I'm glad Charlotte isn't here to hear that. Wait till Charlotte is
So I get to introduce our guest today. His name is Steve Swetoha. He's the president for the 4th season of the G League, NBA G League team, the Swarm, the Greensboro Swarm. Who's been to a Swarm game? Yeah, they're a lot of fun. So we've been sponsoring them for 4 years. I've gotten to know Steve pretty well. He's a pretty neat guy. He's done a lot of cool things for our town. He's affiliated with a bunch of local activities, including being on the leadership board for Junior Achievement, Guilford Merchants Association, YMCA Metro Board. He's on Our Lady of Grace Catholic School Board and the Greensboro Sports Foundation. Steve also spent a bunch of time working in Tulsa with the women's NBA Tulsa Shock. He was there for 6 years. He helped lead them to their first ever playoff appearance in 2015. He's worked with the NFL, the NBA, the NHL, and the Women's NBA, and the ACC in various roles. Steve's a pretty accomplished guy. He's got a wife, Susan. He's got a daughter, Sophia, who's 15, and a son, Matthew, who's 23. I'm not going to read all his accomplishments. It would take quite a while, but let's welcome Steve to our speech.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm not going to use the microphone, if that's okay. It's really good to see some familiar faces. Good morning, Cheryl. And Judy, obviously, good morning. Thank you for partnering with us. And Don, thank you as well. I think I was here the first season, right?
Before y'all started.
Before y'all started. So it's great to be back. I've told Judy and others I would love to join the club, but it would have to be the summer membership because I have a autistic daughter that I get to school at 7:15 or 7:30 every morning, and so it's hard for me to get here on time. So if you can work out a summer membership, I'm more than happy to partake. We'll talk, right? For those who have been out to support us in the past, thank you so much. For those who have not, you're missing a great opportunity. That's a biased comment of mine. Just very quickly, just so everyone is aware, we are heading into our 4th season here in Greensboro. Technically, officially, I am a Charlotte Hornets employee. So my paycheck comes from, I would say, the best basketball player ever to play the game. And I'm an ACC guy, so when someone says, hey, I'm from Pittsburgh originally, but I know there's a lot of Carolina guys in the room, ladies in the room, Duke, State, Wake Forest, others. So I try to be as equal as I possibly can. We live in ACC country. But I'm the lead executive here in Greensboro, so I'm back and forth quite a bit. I'm 85 is pretty familiar with me, or 80, I'm familiar with 85. I'm in Charlotte quite a bit, but I'm the lead executive here. We live here full time. I was hired in September of 2015, so I'm heading into my 5th year here with the Hornets. So a couple quick things about our league. Sharif Abdul Rahim has been the president of our league over the last year or so. He played in the NBA, very smart guy, knows exactly what needs to happen through this league. There are 30 NBA teams, as you all know. However, there's only 28 teams at this point in our league. There's 2 teams that do not have a G League team at this time. And I would say by 21 or maybe 22, there will be 30 G League teams that will represent the 30 NBA teams. Okay? That's a quick map of the footprint of our league. And as you notice, if you up here top left, the Golden State Warriors, their team is located in Santa Cruz, about an hour outside of Golden State or Oakland. Most teams are aligned with their G League teams. the look, feel, the name, so on and so forth. So it's a airplane league. Our season starts. Actually, the Hornets open training camp on Tuesday of this week. They're in Chapel Hill for the week. Training camp is there. We start training camp Monday, October 27th and 28th. I'm not sure exactly what that day of the week is. And then we tip off our season the weekend of November 8 and 9. I think we go to camp to start the season. I'm not sure if everyone is aware of this, but last season, of the 28 teams that play in our league, 52% of our players were on NBA rosters. 52%. So what does that mean? Well, we can talk about that in a second, but that's a pretty high number, and we hope to grow that to 60%. And there are guys that have played in our league that have won championships at the NBA level that started from nowhere and started in our league and have been playing in the NBA. Our league has surpassed 1.6 million in total attendance. The average facilities, the field house that we play in, which we'll share with you in a second, is a little over 2,000 seats. I mentioned earlier there's a huge synergy with the Hornets and Swarm. I know that Charlotte and Raleigh seem to get a lot of recognition, but Greensboro, we love Greensboro. We really do. We're part of the community, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say this, and I may have shared this with you all before. The number of things you all do in this marketplace to give back to the community is pretty amazing. We sense that, we feel that, and we will share with you how we go about that as well. So kudos to all of you in this room that continue to give back. If it wasn't for groups like you, we wouldn't be where we are today in this marketplace, right? And Rotary has been around for a long, long, long time. Hornets players are sent to Greensboro quite a bit. Last season, Dwayne Bacon, Devontae Graham, our number 2 picks, 17, 18, 15, 16, or 16, 17, 17, 18. These guys are dressing for the Hornets for 82 games. And if they're off for 3 or 4 days, they've sent them to Greensboro. And I know we didn't make the playoffs last year, we missed by a few games, but some of these guys almost helped the Hornets get to the playoffs. Joe Wolf is our head coach, NC guy. We just hired Jeff Lebo, who also has Carolina ties. Matter of fact, for you Carolina fans in the room, Joel Barry, the guard a year or so ago, he just signed with Greensboro a few days ago. So we're pretty excited about him. A few years ago, we had a guy by the name of Marcus Page. I know it seems like we're a Carolina team. We're really not. Go Heels, so to speak. But, Malik Monk has played here, Kentucky, #1 pick for us a few years ago. Dwayne Bacon played 15, 16 games here if you've read the newspaper over the last couple of weeks or online. He may be a starter for the Hornets this year. And last year, this guy was the 14th or 13th guy on the bench. And when he wasn't playing in Charlotte for a couple of days, they'd send him here, and he just tore up this league, 27, 28 points a game. And now he's going to be a starter for the Hornets. So hopefully you understand the synergy as it relates to the level of play. People say, well, it's a little bit better than college basketball. It's way better than college basketball, right? You're seeing guys that are playing actually in the pros that are NBA guys, and not all college guys are NBA guys. This is our basketball staff from Charlotte. The middle guy is Coach Borrego. To our right is Mitch Kupchak, our GM at the Hornets. And then Joe Wolf is to our left. Borrego comes from the Coach Popovich system in San Antonio, and he loves the G League, and he supports it 100%. He actually pulled me aside a few weeks ago in Charlotte and said, hey man, we're going to do whatever we can to help you win a championship down there. Right, so pretty cool stuff. Close look at our season. We open up actually at home on a school day game. Cheryl, you've been a part of that in the past. 2,000 screaming kids. Novon is our partner there. And then we open up actually at home on Friday night, November 22nd. So those are our first 2 games of the season. You see a picture to your left. Every Saturday night, after every Saturday night home game, our players, our entire team signs autographs for 30 minutes for all fans in attendance. So it's a pretty robust theme schedule. If you haven't been, that's what the field house looks like. It's a renovated facility, no tax dollars, almost $6 million. It holds a little over 2,100 seats, and sometimes we don't have enough seats, especially on the weekends. So we're getting there. I think our first year we had 6 sellouts. Year 2 we have 4 sellouts. Last year we had 6 sellouts, and we're looking to get 8 sellouts this season. So pretty intimate facility, and I know, Doc, you've been to a number of games, and it's been a pretty cool place to be. Yeah, so for you Wake Forest fans, you know, Muggsy Bogues played for us with the Hornets. This just gives you a sense of some of the things that, you know, the synergy with the Hornets. Cat Barber, top right, okay? We talked about the synergy, the Hornet Swarm, Coach Wolf there at Guilford Child Development, Malik Monk to your left, Muggsy to your bottom left, and then Devontae Graham, number 4, and Dwayne Bacon, 7, both Hornets guys that were playing in Greensboro last season. So you sense the synergy there. You all talk about the great things you all do in the community. When we first got here, our first initiative was we have to be part of this community. We have to be engaged. We have to give back. And we believe we're doing that, and we believe we've done that, and we will continue to do that, similar to what you all have been doing. Last season, our players made over 200 player appearances in this market. Now, what does that constitute? Well, if we have 12 guys and we head to the Guilford Child Development Center for the morning, that's 12 appearances, right? We want to get our players out there. To your right, I think we're at Blueford School. Middle, we were at the food bank. And then below, I think it was like a video gamer night that one of our players was hanging out with one of these little kids. So we're pretty involved in the community as well. How do we impact the Triad? It's a pretty impactful facility. I'm not sure if you're all aware of this, but we're the only team in the G League that have hosted 3 USA basketball games in our market. Golden State's team, Santa Cruz, has hosted 2. And what does that mean? Well, these guys were competing so that the NBA guys could play in the World Championships in 2019. So we had the best of the G League playing in our facility. And as you can see at the bottom right, FIBA hung their banner in our facility, which was televised live from ESPN2 and CBS Sports and other coverages, local and regional and national. So it's pretty cool that we can do this here in Greensboro. Right? It doesn't matter how small or how big this community is. It's pretty impactful. There's some more things that in the community. Blueford, when the tornadoes ripped through here a few springs ago, and I think it was 18 of April, we made a donation back to the school system, and that's Hornets and Swarm employees painting, gardening, cleanup, so on and so forth. You can see some other things. Isaiah Wilkins, guy from Virginia, Cheryl, right? I think you actually got to know him with John at an event for JA. He was a big supporter of that event. And just, you know, Chastity Melvin, an NC State grad to our left here. She played ball for NC State women. She was an assistant coach for us last season. So the women in this industry, it's amazing and incredible and awesome to see the leaps that they're making in this field, right? Pretty cool stuff. This just gives you a list of some of our partners on a per season basis. We had 43 last season. We're trying to get to that number this season, if not a few more. And you can see there's some pretty reputable companies on this list.
I see Friendly Dentist.
You do, right? No.
The rest are reputable, don't worry about it.
The rest are reputable. And Doc actually sees a number of our players and front office staff and what have you. The 2019-20 season, we play a total of 50 games, 24 at home, 24 away. We play 2 games in Vegas, which they call the Showcase, in mid to late December. Of our 24 home games, 14 of those are on a Friday or Saturday night. So our goal is to play as many weekend games as we possibly can. And it's a travel league. It's an airplane league. If we get to Cleveland and we play Canton an hour away, and we have to go to Fort Wayne, we'll bus to Fort Wayne, but we're getting back and forth from air out of PTI 24 times, so to speak. It's a condensed schedule. The NBA starts mid-October. I think the Hornets open up at home on Wednesday, October 23rd, and so we're a few weeks behind them. And if you see the darts, we're averaging, three home games in November, 4 in December. We're really backloaded in January, February, March, which for everybody is basketball season at that point, right? And oh, by the way, we're stuck in the middle of ACC Women's in March, ACC Men's in March, and then NCAAs in March as well. So there's 3 weeks in a row that we're playing in between those events. We'd love for you to join the Swarm family. There's a number of packages available, so you can always go to gsoswarm.com or call our main office, but there's just some various packages that are available. And I left a few minutes before 8 to answer any questions that anyone may have. Yes?
Did you say you train at Chapel Hill?
The last 2 seasons we've trained, our training camp has been at Chapel Hill.
Why is that? Why not here?
So I think 2 years before that we were in Wilmington. 1 year we were in Charlotte. So I think part of it is we want to try to move around. The interesting thing there is you have to have the facility. So, you know, Chapel Hill, they have 8 hoops, you know, on maybe a court and a half. You know, our goal is to maybe get these guys here at the field house. The problem is, do we have enough basketball hoops to cover 20 guys? But I think we try to move it around. Part of it, too, is with Michael's affiliation with Carolina. I think that certainly doesn't hurt him and Coach Williams, and there's another, you know, Buzz Peterson's on our staff in Carolina, and obviously Mitch is a Carolina guy, too. So, you know, we want to really own the state, so we try to move it around a little bit from time to time, just like our preseason games as well. We play the Sixers next Friday in Winston on the Wake Forest campus. The year before that, we played in Chapel Hill. The year before that, we were here in Greensboro. So the Hornets, as part of our arrangement with the city, we will have a number of preseason games throughout the term of our lease. Yes?
Group catering before a game, you want to bring a group out?
Yes, so we're a tenant of the facility, and they have opportunities right next door in the Special Event Center that we work with. There have been a number of companies, Bank of America, Derek Ellington, and those guys have had a holiday event there, and they fed dinner and then came over and watched the game. And we certainly can help you with those opportunities as well. Yes?
Any comments on the new California law about tourism?
No. And for the coaches out there that are swaying one way or another, because no. I wish I knew enough about it to comment. My personal opinion, I think it's crazy. You're getting, you know, my son goes to the University of North Dakota. We are investing a lot of money for him to be in aviation. It's like 2 degrees, right? And 0 scholarship dollars for him, right? Now, I may get myself in trouble here, so you push me there. You have players that are getting full rides, and their entire scholarship is paid for, and they're feeding them 3 times a day. They are geared up from head to toe. They have 40 pairs of tennis shoes. They've got gear left and right. For me, it's really hard to, you know, you're losing the college amateur type of the sport. That's why you have the NBA and the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NHL. California is sort of out there on their own, so to speak, right? But it's going to be very interesting because you hear both sides. This is sort of Mark Walker on ESPN the other day talking about why he's supporting it. I don't want this to be a political discussion, but it's going to be very interesting to see what happens because there's things that no one has thought about. And with everything going on, especially on the basketball side, with all of these scandals and Adidas and Nike and other programs out there, it'll be interesting.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Read the last four numbers on there. Right.
6040. 6040.
Chris, you got those two. Where did you go? All right, that's it. Please shoot Billy an email if you can work Friday or Saturday.